Hey, what's up and hello? This is the Chris Nicole bringing you my views on life, love, and the world of entertainment through my eyes. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what time you are watching this live. Hello, crew. Hope all is well. Make sure you hit the likety like button on the way in. So, Diddy got 50 months in prison. He has already spent, I believe, 13 to 14 months in prison. So we are looking at 3 years max. And we are also looking at potentially him only serving 85% of that. I believe for federal, you can do 85% of your time. That's if they are not able to win on appeal. Okay. So this judge definitely said he took everything into consideration, especially the letters apparently from both sides. I heard the performance, and I'm going to say the performance from Diddy. I also heard his letter that we know dang on well he did not write. He did not write that letter. Has Diddy changed? Look, I'm a firm believer that God can change anyone. Okay. The worst demon out there, God can change. However, considering the fact that this man was having people write this letter, him actually being out in the courts apologizing to his victims, but apparently, allegedly, had a speaking engagement this Monday coming up, as if he was preparing himself to get out. I think I think I'm going to take the educated guess that Diddy hasn't changed at all. Okay. Diddy, in my opinion, thinks he's still above the law. So much so, he wanted to wear his own clothes. He just felt like, I'm about to get out of here. I've served my time. Let's go. Well, apparently that was not the case. Now, the judge says he felt like the 11 years that the prosecution wanted was a little, too much. However, I think probation stated that 5 to 7 years would be appropriate, but he gave him a little bit over 4 years. Honestly, I didn't know which way this was going to go. So I'm not going to pretend like, oh, I knew this was going to happen. I didn't know if he was going to walk out yesterday or if he was literally going to stay there for a good decade. I just didn't know. I didn't know because, one, we clearly see that people like Diddy feel like they're above the law. They have definitely had money and resources to allegedly pay people and things off. So I didn't know which way this was going to go. I also didn't know if the judge, because a lot of people kept saying the judge doesn't like Diddy. The judge doesn't like Diddy. I didn't know which way it was going to go. My personal feelings on this, if we're looking at the crime in itself that he was actually convicted of, he definitely needed to serve a couple of years. Now, the question is, if this wasn't Diddy and this was your regular Damon that is working a 9-to-5 job, or better yet, doesn't have a job at all, and he got accused of this, would he probably spend 5 to 7 years, if not longer? I would say absolutely. Absolutely. But I do feel because of his resources and his whole full OJ Simpson type of team that he had, you would think the team that Diddy had, you would think that he would have been on trial for what OJ was on trial for. Okay. So he's definitely fighting to get out. But honestly, I don't even know how this is going to work after this sentencing. To be quite honest, they've already said, Diddy's team has already said they're going to appeal it. And I've even heard that they said that they're going to go to Trump to see if they can get a pardon. And let me tell you something, if Trump is concerned about this freaking man spending 3 years in prison with all the other stuff we got going on in this freaking country, yeah, I just don't know. But then again, I don't know, but I just don't think Trump would even care about this case enough to pardon Diddy. It's 3 years, bruh. Like, it's 3 years. So I don't even know if he would necessarily pardon him for this. But the appeal process, if I'm not mistaken, appealing it means you're going to have a whole nother judge who is going to look at this case. I don't trust Diddy and his tactics. So this could be that if they appeal it, they let him out on the appeal. But I don't think he's changed. And to be quite honest, I feel for the victims in the situation, the real victims. I mean, Chef Jordan, she posted something on her actual story, and she said, I stand on my crash outs, I should have done more. And then says society has this weird obsession with wanting women to be broke, invincible and quiet, and I won't be having any of that. I feel that Chef Jordan, she was really young. I don't even think she was 21 at the time when she ended up working for Diddy. I truly feel like she's like, well, hell, if he was just going to get a slap on the wrist, I should have done everything I could at that point. But of course, at her age, and like so many of them, they were not only worried about their careers, but much worse on what he could potentially do. People who say, well, why didn't you go to the police? Well, if allegedly they're claiming that he bought off police, where's your protection at? So I feel for her. I feel for so many others who finally had the courage to stand up, for themselves and others, just for them. I would say that they don't think this is enough time. They don't think this is enough time. I would say that they don't feel like it's absolutely not. Now hopefully Diddy is not dumb enough, but then again, this is the same guy who literally had a speaking engagement on Monday. Like, literally had a speaking engagement. Like, who does that besides someone who doesn't think? But I hope he wouldn't be dumb enough to go after anyone who took the stand or spoke up. Because not only does he have time to serve, he has probation. So at any moment, if anything happens to any of these women or men, they're going to automatically put it on him. They're going to automatically investigate him or people around him. So I would hope that he would just leave them alone. But do I blame them for always feeling fearful and looking over their shoulders? I don't blame them. I would pray that they find healing, because that's no way to live. But I'm sure as a victim, they are thinking that these 3 years is ultimately not enough. Now, as narcissistic as Diddy is, I'm sure that he's not taking it well. I'm sure he's not taking it well that he has to spend another 3 years. Like, this man was asking the judge if he could wear his regular clothes. You know what I mean? Because I guess he wanted the OJ treatment. Because, of course, OJ was able to go in there with his, suited down or whatever the case may be. But, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think he's learned his lesson. Like, I don't think he's learned his lesson. I can already see the PR spin in this. Let's just say if he does 3 years. Diddy is what, 55 years old? 55, right? So, okay, he's 55 years old. So if he's 55 years old, then 3 years, he's out before 60. You already know that that's what they're preparing for. Oh, Diddy's going to get out before 60, or, so we're going to prepare for his, 60th birthday. Like, you could tell the PR spin that they would do on this. Now, the question will be, what is this doing to his bags? Because we already know that, because of the fact that Diddy, from my understanding, the way he makes his money is that he has to be out. He has to be, able to promote and to put stuff out there to be able to make his money. Him being in a jail cell, I don't know where he's going to make his money. And unfortunately, it doesn't seem like he's really taught any of his kids on how to make money either. They seem to have been living off of the Diddy lifestyle more than also learning how to, I guess, hustle, so to speak, to also create their own bags. So I don't know where the money would come from if he's in that jail for 3 years. So what happens when he gets out? Is he going to be able to survive? because I firmly don't believe he was ever close to being a billionaire. I feel that that's just the hype that they give people that play the game well. Because anytime that they claim you're a billionaire and this one mishap just automatically takes you out of billionaire status, my guess is you were never a billionaire in the first place. Yeah, you were never a billionaire. So we don't really know how much money Diddy has. We don't. So him sitting for 3 years and no longer being a brand, because his name and him being out was a brand in itself, I don't know how that's going to affect them. The girls crying, I felt for them. I didn't feel for the boys talking though. I mean, let's be clear. 2 of them allegedly have some of the same allegations. So, yeah. And Christian saying that, Diddy treated his mother like a queen, that kind of twisted my stomach. It was like, what the hell? Like, I don't know, but I know as a child, I had always had intuition when even if things looked good, I guess in front of me, if something was going on behind the scenes that I wasn't, you could feel it. So the fact that, he was like, yeah, he treated my mom like a queen. I'm like, were you just that oblivious, or you're just at this point begging because without your father, you're not going to be able to live a certain lifestyle? But the girls I felt for. Because I truly feel like they are innocent in this situation, not really understanding what's going on. And yes, they did just have graduation. They just had prom, but at the same time, I look at the victims and I'm like, some of these victims, kids had graduations, had proms. They maybe couldn't even afford prom because their careers have been completely destroyed behind Diddy. So I'm looking at it in both sides. I don't know, y'all. Let me see what you guys are saying. Yeah. So some of you guys are saying it's not fair. Diddy's sentencing was not fair. Now, I don't know if you mean it wasn't fair that he shouldn't have got any more time, or it wasn't fair because he should have got more, So you got to let me know which one you think it is. Do you think it wasn't fair because you felt like he should have walked out of that jail? Or do you think it wasn't fair because he should be sitting for at least, I don't know, 5 to 7 years or 10 years? You got to let me know. What I am hoping is that people really start to stop idolizing these celebrities. That's what I'm hoping. Now, is that really going to happen? Probably not. People love to go to bat for celebrities like that's somebody they personally know, like it's their God. I'm hoping that these situations, not just with Diddy, but with others, and seeing how they move will help you realize that these people are not who they want the public. They have a public persona. That doesn't mean that's who they really are. I am hoping that has taken down the wall of the delusion of it all. That's what I'm hoping. We'll see if that actually happens. But like I said, Diddy's attorneys are already talking about an appeal. They're already talking about an appeal. I'm thinking they're trying to get him home before the holidays. I think they're trying to get him home before the holidays. Now, I don't know how fast the court system works in New York, but we'll see. Honestly, the things that I have seen for the past year, especially the past couple of months, I am kind of humanity. I don't know where it's at this point. Like the lack of humanity, the lack of, people having a respect for women. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where we are, especially as a society at this point, especially in the US. So I honestly can't even have any predictions on where this could possibly go. I think I'm numb either way. But if I can be honest, I would say I would be shocked, because how we have seen how evil people have prevailed. I would be shocked if Diddy does the 3 years. I would be shocked, because like I said, I'm going to say 50 times over, I don't think the man has changed. A lot of people will mention God when they're in a bind, but when they're out here creating havoc for 30 plus years, they're letting the devil operate in them. This man saying that, he's changed so much. It was sick to my stomach where he said he got this freaking class or this program called Free Game by Diddy, and that he's bringing all of these gangs together in all different colors and creeds as if he's freaking Jesus leading the disciples. That's what it was given to me. It was given that he was drinking and making it seem like that he bringing all people together and literally like he's making a change. Well, if that's the case, sir, keep your butt in prison if you making that much of a change. But free game with Diddy, what kind of free game can you give them? Because allegedly the way you've made your money is to steal from other people, allegedly. We're not going to even talk about, again, your bad boy history and how you allegedly stole publishing and everything else from your artists. Most of your artists are broke or unalived or gone. So what kind of game can you actually give them? What have you done that has been on an ethical level with straight high morals and integrity that you actually got any of your money fair and honest? I'll wait. So I would like to know what free game you gave anybody. I really want to know where Diddy had it anywhere in his career where he actually got it the honest way and the talent way. Because apparently, allegedly, even in his producing days with Uptown back in the day, apparently those days are sketchy too. So I don't know if he ever had a ethical, honest, like I worked hard, I busted my butt. I don't know if he ever got it the honest way, ever. So as far as I see it, if we're talking about his history as a whole, if we're talking about his history as a whole of who he is as a person and so many things that he has been accused of, it's been proven that he's done 30 plus years and you're only sitting down for 3 years, you're lucky. If you have to do the whole 3 years, you are absolutely lucky. With so many things, even all the way back to 1991 with the whole City College stampede situation. And allegedly before that, when you were in college, allegedly putting your hands on a woman then. So he's gotten over, you guys. Like he has gotten over. I did. Hey, D-Dot. I really feel for these victims. I feel for them. I really do. And all of them just simply wanted just an opportunity and thought that having Diddy's name on their resume would take them above and beyond, not realizing working for Diddy created a prison for them, a physical and internal hell for them. And I think the only way out where they're going to be able to find peace and protection is really dedicate their life to God and do a restart. Because I truly felt Chef Jordan when she said she was terrified that that man did not end up getting the years that she thought he would get. Now, here's the thing, though. I'll say this. With his resources and his apparent money, Chef Jordan also has to understand that his reach, regardless whether he's in or out, is still his reach with power and influence. So at the end of the day, what I'm hoping is that the probation and all of that stuff, he would be smart enough to make sure and beg that no one does anything to these women and the men. But yeah, I would also like to see if there's going to be any more cases filed on him while all of this is going on. Stranger things have happened when you pretty much sit your butt in prison, and next thing you know, people feel more comfortable to come forward. They feel more comfortable to come forward. D-Dot, if you're still here, did you do the poll? I'm trying to figure out if you did the poll. And if you did do the poll, do you feel like the sentencing for Diddy was fair or was not fair in a sense of he should have walked out of the prison, or it wasn't fair because he should have gotten more time? Because I'm curious to know, because I see that no one has said yes. They're not saying that his sentencing was fair. Everybody so far on the voting is saying no. So I am curious to see, Okay, so let me know. So which one is it? Which one is it, D-Dot? Because you're saying yes and hell no. Which one is it? Do you feel like he did not get enough time or he should have walked out? Because again, I give my opinion, but I'm not gonna judge either way. But at the end of the day, Diddy is a despicable human being. And to me, it really should have showed who he was when this man had apparently scheduled a speaking engagement on Monday. Who does that? Someone who has not learned their lesson. Someone who is not like even the Diddy demon bots out there, because there are some people who are hardcore Diddy, or even just people who just feel like I'm the ones, because there's like the demon bots who just have lost their mind over this Diddy situation. Then you have people just saying, look, I'm just saying the brother, what I'm saying, wasn't treated fairly. I can anybody explain to me what kind of logic was that to apparently have a speaking engagement on Monday? A speaking engagement. Make sure you guys hit the like button on the way in for your girl, please. A speaking engagement on Monday. On Monday, if that's not arrogance and you just playing with the system and you feeling like you're above the law, I don't know what is. Like, you weren't even humble enough to try to attempt to not even plan anything until you knew for sure you was getting out. You literally had something planned on Monday? And what's so crazy about that is, if you claim you have gone through so much and you've learned your lesson in this past 13, 14 months, you would think you would at least want to spend the weekend at least, or the week, at least spending time with your family and not going anywhere, especially for that little girl that you claim you love so much, and you haven't seen her, and she probably don't even remember who you are, and all of this other nonsense that he probably wanted to claim. You would think that you just want to stay home and spend time with your family. Oh, but no, you're planning a speaking engagement? Like, that is insanity. So for ones who are supporters of Diddy's, not the crazy ones, but the supporters of Diddy's, please help me understand why you felt that was appropriate. So Vivian says, hey D, Vivian says he should have gotten more time. He should have, and D-Dot is saying he didn't get enough time. Okay, so you guys are saying no, he should have got more time. Was Diddy going through a humiliation ritual? It's possible. It's possible. But see, I thought a humiliation ritual was for you to come out after you sell your soul and be bigger and better. So isn't that the whole point of those humiliation rituals, that they say that you go through that, so then that way you dedicate yourself to darkness or whatever, and then you come back bigger and better? Now, if we see that he goes through this and he comes back out bigger and better, then yeah, I guess that would be the humiliation ritual. But he has definitely done multiple things that would be considered a humiliation ritual in the past, and he came out stronger and better than ever. I mean, we got multiple situations. We got the club situation, the club pow pow situation. We got the city college situation. We got a lot of things that could have been considered humiliation ritual, because he came out of that situation still being able to rebrand himself and come out stronger. So it's like, did he go through multiple ones? You know what I mean? Or is this going to be the final nail in a coffin, that they have now used him to no end and now they're trying to break their tool? You see what I mean? Because at this point, it could be that they're saying, we have no more use for you, so we're really about to nail you, you know what I'm saying, for everything at this point, where you have no comeback. I don't know. We'll have to see after this what happens, because we will need to see, even if he wins the appeal, we will have to see what happens to Diddy after that, because he's not the type to sit down for long. He needs the attention. He needs the praise. He needs the notoriety. So I don't see him sitting down for long. So it depends on the public perception, because as they say, whoever controls the media controls the mind. So it's based on how the media treats him in this situation will really determine if this was a humiliation ritual or was this really, like, which one is it? Diddy almost was unalive after court. How so? You talking about this court? Because the man done been in court so many times. It's hard to keep up. You saying he was almost unalive after this court session yesterday? Please explain to me how so. How that particularly happened. But I would say right now, a lot of his kids are scared financially. You know what I'm saying? But then again, maybe he was smart enough. Maybe he was smart enough to have his money stashed different places. Maybe a good amount of that money is in his mother's name, and the kids will be taken care of that way. The kids will be taken care of that way. Maybe that's the case. Make sure you guys hit the likety like button. Please hit the likety like button on the way in, please. But yeah, I don't believe him. DIDDY, make sure you let me take that out, because you put the whole word in. We can't have that whole word in there, so I got to remove that. So apparently someone was trying to poke him after court yesterday. Really? So someone was trying to apparently poke him after court. Let me see. Now that's interesting. Okay, so they're saying that Diddy was nearly apparently poked in prison. Interesting. Now, do you believe that? That's the biggest question right there. Do you believe it? I don't know if I believe it. I think we're going to get a lot of PR stories, especially to try to make it seem like he's going through so much in prison to try to ultimately have pity for him. Diddy's attorney claims, now this is the attorney. The attorney claims that he was nearly poked while in prison. Let me read this nonsense. I'm sorry. I don't believe anything that comes out of the attorney's mouth. They're trying to get him out. During his sentencing hearing Friday, October 3rd, the artist's defense attorney, Brian Steele, touched on hardship Combs has endured while behind bars. Steele told the court how he narrowly escaped a potential attack from another inmate. The man reportedly tried to poke Combs, but a guard stepped in and stopped the poking. Interesting. Steele continued to tell the court about Combs' state of mind. Do y'all believe that? I don't believe it. Sorry. I hate to say it, but I don't believe it. I really don't believe it. I feel like that man has the ultimate protection in there from them guards, because the last thing they need is something to happen to him while he is in there, and this whole freaking government court system, because this freaking correctional system in New York in general has so many lawsuits against them. Like, I think I even just talked about how correctional officers in New York, somewhere in New York, had unalived someone or injured someone. They deal with freaking lawsuits all the time. You really want someone that high profile, like a Diddy, potentially having that happen to him while he's in your care? Yeah, I don't believe it. That's my personal opinion. I don't believe it. They are doing everything they can to get him out to try to gain sympathy for him. They said the black female attorney even started crying. Like, what you crying for? That's why I said it was performative. It was performative. Like, it was like out of this world, where I was just like, I couldn't even, yesterday, I was like, I'm not about to talk about this. Like, I'm not. Give me a day to talk about this, because once I heard that freaking man apparently planned an engagement, like a speaking engagement Monday, I said, what are we dealing with here? What are we dealing with here? And they said, lights, camera, action. Let's start crying. Let's say he done got potentially poked in prison. Let's do it all so we can get him up out of here. I just don't believe it. Sean has prayed for healing. Prayed to who? Who you praying to? It is now 12 months and 17 days in MDC. There are certain people who gain prestige if they hurt him. The guards stop the man. Wait, who eats out of a bag? Who eats out of bags? Chips. Why are they saying he eats out of bags, chips? The guard stopped the man with the pokey. He eats out of bags, chips. So in other words, they're trying to say that the pokey was in the bag of chips to make it seem like he was eating chips just to potentially poke Sean. Yeah, okay. I mean, look. Okay. I mean, it's possible. It's possible. But in my personal opinion, do I believe that that man potentially is about to get shanked? Yeah, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I think his PR team is going to work overtime at this point. PR team appeal. PR team and appeal. That is going to be it. They are going to say anything they can at this point. They are going to literally just put in the soap opera and fireworks. They really are. They really are to try to get this man out of prison. And the thing is, unfortunately, it may work. I'm really trying to figure out, I'm trying to get a public, I don't know where the public stands with Diddy. Like, I mean, I still see people going hard for Diddy regardless, but then I see people saying that he's sick. I don't know where people stand. I would say so many people are so desensitized, like they don't care. Like, I don't think they care because I think there's just a lack of humanity, or people just have no more faith in humanity, that they're just like, whatever is whatever. They won't be shocked either way. And that's where I stand. I lack faith in humanity so much from what I've seen for these past several months, and this just in general, that I wouldn't be shocked either way. But like I said, if I had to be more shocked with anything, I would be shocked if he actually has to serve the whole 3 years. I would be shocked. I would definitely be shocked if he has to do the whole 3 years. If he has to do the whole 3 years, then they truly, truly got that system on lock, and no one is willing to break or bend on the behalf of Diddy and his power and his money and his fame. You know what I'm saying? So it would have to be like everyone is ethical and has a high moral compass. I would be shocked that he does the whole 3 years. But if I could be honest, I would say that he needs to truly, like Chef Jordan said in her very well written letter. I wonder if she wrote it herself or someone helped her write it. Her very well written letter. He needs to move someplace far, far away. He doesn't need to be in a LA, or New York, or Miami, or even in Atlanta. Go to Idaho somewhere and chill. And if it's really about you putting your faith back in God, like God, because again, you don't know what God he's serving. Then focus on that, because you're not going to be able to convince me that you changed within a year. Yeah. And the reason why you're clean, because he was like, I haven't been clean like this in the last 25 years, is because, sir, you don't have access. Would you stay clean if you had access? I don't know. If you in the feds, you got to do the whole thing. I thought you only had to do 85%, D-Dot. I thought in the feds you had to do 85% of your time. I don't think you have to do the whole time. I think you have to do 85%, which is why I said technically he only has 3 years, because he's already done over a year. And then if he only has to do 85% of that time, he probably may only do 2 years. Hi, CA. You saying I feel he should have been sentenced to at least 10 years. Mann Act has 10 years max on each. Oh, you say each charge. So since he had 2, he should have gotten half of that. Yeah, well, it's him, and the public perception, the fame of it all, and as much as people trying to say it has nothing to do with fame, oh, it does. No one would care if Damon from the Bronx, that is literally not working or has a regular 9-to-5 job, no one would care about the justice or injustice of what that man is facing if he had the same charges. The reason why people are invested is because it's Diddy, and people don't want to act. They want to pretend like the fame and notoriety has nothing to do with it, but it does. It does. A lot of people are just on Diddy's sack because he is Diddy and he has provided them good music over the years and he has given them laughs looking at reality shows and the fame of it all. That's why they automatically look at that makes him either not guilty or they don't care if he's right or wrong. It's about who they like. And if they like Diddy, they will continue to support him. They will continue to support him. And people don't want to admit that because they don't want to make it seem like it sounds cruel or whatever. But I'm just like, be honest with how you feel. Just be honest with how you feel. I like him. He's famous. He has a lifestyle that I would love to have. He definitely has given me music throughout my childhood or my teenage years or my adult years that I was bumping to in the club. So yeah, because of all of those good things, and he's had the best looking women and all of this stuff. So yeah. I don't, I'm gonna just completely ignore it. He didn't do it. Or, I don't care if he's done anything crazy or whatever the case may be until it happens to you. See how that works? See how that works? So I say the lack of humanity. People are so focused on them. I don't care what he does to other people, but then the moment he potentially does it to you, then that's the problem. Then that's the problem. When I look at things like if you're willing to do it to other people, what makes it me special and you won't do it to me? And that had been my issue growing up sometimes because I'm loyal to a fault, or I used to be. I'm the type of person where I have been loyal to people who didn't deserve my loyalty. But again, if I look back at how they treated others, I would have definitely said, what makes me special that wasn't going to eventually come to me? See what I'm saying? Yeah, you sometimes the best way you learn people is how they treat others. That's just the bottom line. Diddy has and never will change. He is a narcissist. No cure for that. Him and his team tried to paint him as a victim. So yes, EA. I mean, we know that by apparently him having that speaking engagement. I was just like, you have got to be kidding me that you literally have a speaking engagement, sir. A speaking engagement. Like, what is wrong with you? Diddy's still gonna do his dirt. And he may and do it in a very, like, at this point, he's just going to be ultra cautious, because he gets a high on people who fear him. He gets a high off of people who, you know what I'm saying, he has power over. And you know what's so crazy? You know what's so crazy about this? And this is just how I would say sick our society is with everything that has been exposed about Diddy at this point. You are still probably going to have first people lining up to work for him and women lining up to be with him. That's the crazy part about it, is that with all of this wouldn't be a red flag to people. Some people will still be like, I'm willing to work for him, even though you have heard testimony that people were underpaid and overworked and couldn't even pay their bills, couldn't even live a life, couldn't even spend time with their kids working for Diddy. And on top of that, allegedly in the process of not getting paid what they were supposed to, going through abuse. You hear all of this and you still would be willing to line up to work for that man, to write for that man, to produce for that man, to cook for that man, to be with that man. That's why I said our nation is sick. It's sick. I wouldn't even say sometimes the money is what makes people do that. Notoriety and fame is what make people do that also. But at the same time, Diddy is going to have to be cautious. You know why he's going to have to be cautious? Because you're also going to have those people who are going to step forward just so they can be around him, so they can have something to talk about and write about. See, he's going to have those people too. And not saying he didn't have those type of people around him before. I'm sure there were some people who knew about the dirt about Diddy even before social media really became a thing, and they still wanted to work for him, hoping that eventually they will get a bag off of this. You know? Because let's be clear, before social media was a big thing, I mean, in the 90s and the early 2000s, I was hearing stories about Diddy. I was hearing stories about Diddy. There was stories about Diddy for a minute, especially after Tupac and Biggie. So these stories have been around. They've been around. Yeah. So I don't think he's gonna change. I don't think he's gonna change even after 3 years. I don't. I don't think he's gonna change after 3 years because look in what happened. Look in what happened. Sorry, guys. Broken English this morning, but that's okay. Um, Look at what can potentially happen. Let's just say he sits down for 3 years. He could still make money off of interviews. You think they're not gonna give him permission to do interviews, even if it's just phone interviews, or even people coming into the jail to interview him? He can get paid off of interviews. He can write a book that we know he ain't gonna write, but he gonna have somebody else write for him. So he can do so many things. Hell, Suge Knight is now doing interviews from prison. And them Suge Knight numbers look lovely. Like when Art of Dialogue and other people have like Suge Knight interviews, their numbers skyrocket because people want to hear what Suge Knight has to say because he has so much information, whether people think it's true or not, from literally the time of NWA days all the way up until now. So people want to hear what he has to say. You think that's not going to be the same with Diddy? You think that's not going to be the same with him? So even if he does the 3 years, they're going to probably make sure that he continues to have his name out there, doing interviews, doing press, writing a book, things like that to make sure that he stays relevant. I wouldn't be shocked if his kids get a reality show off of this. Life Without Diddy. And literally do a reality spinoff off of this and how their life is going without their father. And then you hear the father every week speaking to them, giving them words of encouragement. Y'all, please, I know how this mindset is. I'm telling you right now, don't think that type of stuff won't happen. Don't think it won't happen. Them older kids and even them younger kids, especially to keep that money boat going, oh, it could definitely happen. It could definitely happen. Them getting a reality show, or even at this point, a YouTube channel that will skyrocket and make millions, they could go either way. They really could go either way. So, unfortunately, though, we will have to see whatever happens. It's about how the media treats him. Once the media throws you away, ultimately, because again, they say whoever controls the media controls the mind. Now, that's not for everyone. Everybody don't have that sheep mentality, but a lot of people, whatever the media says, that's what goes. It's going to be based off of how the media treats him. And based off how the media treats him, that's the way the public's going to go. Like with Bill Cosby. Once the media was done with him, that's how the majority of people went. Harvey Weinstein, same thing. So it's really going to be after this is all said and done and he's out or whatever the case may be, or even while he's in, how is the major media, how are they going to treat him? The way his attorney sat up there boo-hooing, yeah, the black female attorney, and apparently they wanted us to make sure, didn't they say that apparently she has been through DV herself? Didn't they say she's been through DV herself? So I think that was a whole setup. This is a black woman. Some of his victims have been black women. She's been through DV allegedly, but she's willing to still be his attorney. But again, money talks. And again, this is a high profile case that you could use to be able to catapult your career in other ways. if not better. I'm pretty sure she already had a good record anyways, but at the same time, this can help her in other high profile cases. Because, everybody tries, they want to be the Johnny Cochran so badly. We have not had a Johnny Cochran since Johnny Cochran passed. Rest in peace. Whose birthday was literally just this week, by the way. His birthday was this week. So happy heavenly birthday to Johnny Cochran. But we haven't had a Johnny Cochran since Johnny Cochran. But everybody is trying to be a Johnny Cochran, but it's just not going to happen. So, but yeah. Yes, the black attorney. I didn't know about her DV. Look it up. I believe allegedly, but I believe one of the big things that they said about her when she first came on was that she had been a victim herself. She had been a victim herself of something. What is that attorney's name? Hold on. I feel like I saw that. Diddy, black female attorney victim. Let's see. I don't know if I can look it up real fast, but I feel like she has. Okay, so yeah, her name Nicole Westmoreland. A black female attorney, is a member of Sean Diddy Combs' legal team and is also a survivor of SA. She was a survivor of SA. So it wasn't DV, it was SA. If that's her, apparently she was a survivor of SA by a man at, it says, Patchwork Studios in Atlanta while attending a pitch meeting with Cash Money Records. So if that's her, she was a victim of SA. And a black woman, and that was to me a PR move. This black woman who is willing to be on my team, to actually be, on my defense team to get me out of prison, is a victim. Therefore, that should tell you something. That was all a PR move. She runs her own law firm too. So if this could potentially help her, this could potentially help her in the future. All of this is a money grab and a way to kind of push people's careers, you guys. Like, a lot of times I don't feel like a lot of attorneys, especially high profile attorneys, are really looking at it from a moral compass. They're more looking at it as in, how can we find loopholes in the law, and that way I can get no sentence or a lesser sentence for my client, so that makes me look good for potential other big cases. That's just how it works. Yeah, that's how it works. So yeah, that's why I said, like, as much as I sometimes regret that I didn't go to law school, because I really just wanted to just know the law, you gotta, like, once you get out of law school and you have all of that debt, you gotta start making money. And a lot of your average, like, any law school is expensive, but when you get out, if you notice, a lot of people go into the DA office because that's a quick way for them to get in and make some money. But DA, unless you get up into like the bigger, like assistant DA or the actual district attorney, you're not making that much money. A lot of people do that so they can, understand how the prosecution works, get their feet wet, and then a lot of the times they want to stay there for a certain amount of years so they can get their loans paid off. See, I found that out from my friends. They will be able to get like public service loans if like forgiven. So if you stay with the DA office or any type of government agency as an attorney or even any other job for 10 years or longer, and you stay there and you pay your student loans, the rest of that time, like, your loans will be forgiven. So a lot of people went that route to get their law school debt forgiven. So yeah, but once you're trying to make the big money, I just feel like a lot of times what we see is that the moral compass goes out the window. They just try to use the law to best benefit their client. That's just what it is. That's why they say they're lawyers. They lie for a living. But yeah, so apparently she is a SA victim, and that SA victim was doing her job and baby straight up started crying. She may want to go into acting because they said she was boo-hooing in there. Like, literally put on the waterworks, honey. I'm glad I wasn't in that courtroom. I probably would have been rolling my eyes and like, what the hell is this? That's what I probably would have been doing. They probably would have said, ma'am, you got to get up out of here. Gladly. But yeah, you guys, I just wanted to give my take on this. Final take, Diddy, in my opinion, hasn't changed. I don't think he's going to change now or even 3 years from now. This man, his whole entire life, has been able to get off. He has been able to get off. So even if he has to sit down for 3 years, I don't think it's going to change him. They're going to make sure on a PR level and a public level, his kids now are going to be the highlight of everything until he gets home. Again, don't be shocked if a reality show comes out. Don't be shocked if they do a YouTube channel and they will do it every single year that Diddy is in there. And then it's going to be a big spectacle with him getting out because they have made sure that his name stayed relevant these 3 years. If he has to do the whole 3 years, let's say if he does 2, they're going to make sure his name is relevant. We know he won't change not one bit. He won't. But again, this could have been God's warning to him to change. And if he continues to do the same thing, God may give him no more warnings. You know what I mean? Like, I think we should all be grateful when we get warnings from God that doesn't necessarily take you out, but it's enough to try to humble you and put you down and rededicate yourself. I don't know if he's ever really had a dedication to God. But this could have been a warning. But if he continues it and he keeps it up, he may not get any more warnings at all whatsoever. So I say justice for the victims, even for the victims who are no longer here. Now, we've heard rumors about that too. But the reality is there is just a lot of stuff that's around Diddy's name where it's just like it all can't be lies. Everybody can't be lying on you because you Diddy and you have this money. It can't. It's just you have been able to get off so many times, time after time. At a certain point, God is going to finally say, you know what? I've had patience with you, but enough is enough. I got one person who actually said his sentencing was fair. I don't know if that person is in the chat and actually wants to speak on it, but so one person, everybody else said no, but one person said yes. I would love to get your take on it. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't bash people over here with difference of opinions. As long as you're respectful, I don't care. But I do know there are people who are not the demon bots of the world, but there are people who truly, genuinely felt like he got railroaded and felt like that was more than fair of what he got. Some people, I did see that they felt like he should have walked out of that prison, because they said he served enough time for what they actually convicted him of. But if you don't want to say anything, I totally understand too. Maybe you'll say it after the live is over in the comment section. So let's continue in the comment section, you guys. Do you feel like Diddy's sentencing was fair? Do you feel he's a changed man? I would like to know your take on this. You guys have heard my take on it. I have lost faith in humanity. I really have lost faith in humanity. So we will have to see where this goes. And just in general, we will have to see where just our world goes right now. Yeah, exactly. Because but that's what I'm saying. A lot of guys especially are saying that he got railroaded. Because what a lot of times what they do is they see themselves in Diddy. Like this like black man to black man. I understand being a black man, we get railroaded. Y'all are not the same people. You're not the same people. Diddy, first of all, wouldn't even care about the majority of black men. If you want my opinion on it, Diddy is in a whole tax bracket. He has screwed over black men that look like you. He screwed black men over. There are black men who literally went into their coffins broke and literally depressed behind him. He has screwed so many people over from what we have seen records, and I'm going to say alleged, screw people over on business, screw people over mentally, SA and things like that. It's interesting that it's like people want to just literally see Diddy in themselves, or they just want to have this attachment when it's like, Diddy will screw you over. He will screw you over in a heartbeat to make sure that you stay broke. He gets his money and keeps it pushing. You don't get billionaires without you screwing people over. Hell, you don't even get multi-millionaires a lot of time. And I'm not talking about 10 million. I'm talking about hundreds of millions of dollars. A lot of time you don't even get that without screwing people over. So while you're so busy saying, oh, they did my boy wrong and all of this stuff, that same boy would treat you like a boy, like you're nothing, and take all of the generational wealth that is owed to you, will break you down, buck break you, and leave you like it ain't nothing. Meanwhile, he doing his take that dance on a local arena stage, making money. You see what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. But again, we are in that society where people literally want to live through these celebrities. They really do. And a lot of the times I think it's because they just feel like the life that they live is so glamorous. But you want to know what I truly think also? I think a lot of people, if given the opportunity, they will have no problem. They will have no problem screwing people over like a Diddy and so many others. People who are so gun-ho over these celebrities, a lot of times they will have no problem screwing people over to get ahead. That's why they don't see a problem with what these celebrities are doing, because they have a mentality where I'm going to get mine anyway. So they don't have an issue with how these celebrities have been treating people on a business side and everything else. Oh, hey, DeMarcus, thank you. Yes, Libra season is finally here. Libra gang. Yes, I celebrate the whole month. I sure do. I celebrate the whole month. Starting October 1st, baby, this month is mine. So thank you so much. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, DeMarcus. But yeah, keep your publishing. Yeah. But see, remember, rumor has it, he will bully people out of their publishing. Apparently, some people wanted to keep their publishing, but he would strong arm them. So you see what I'm saying? So this is, and I'm sick of people also saying, well, that's on them. And why would they allow him to do that? Or, you know what I'm saying? Why are they so scared of him? You have to understand how someone like a Diddy would work. But again, it's so easy from the outside looking in, not willing to understand someone and how they're trying to keep their publishing, and someone may be strong arming them. You better do this, or you better sign this, or else. And how your family can potentially be an issue. Oh, well, then why didn't they go to the police? Well, apparently, allegedly, he had them on his payroll too. So again, who do you go to? Well, why did you get an attorney? A lot of attorneys won't even take these cases because they're scared to go against someone who's a celebrity, who's a public figure. So next. You see what I'm saying? So it's stuff like that people are just so quick to just judge these victims, not understanding how these people work. And this is how they are able to get the power and the success that they have. Diddy ain't talented. He's never been talented to me. You're taking literally old school songs and just remixing it, like the DeBarges and, you know what I'm saying, Juicy Fruit and all of this type of stuff, to be able to have rappers, you know what I'm saying, be able to rap over it. You just found a niche. But Diddy actually having talent, I never saw him for being a rapper. I would say people were more so bopping to the beat more than his actual rap skills, that I personally don't think he ever actually wrote his own rap lyrics. He was just the face of it all. You know what I'm saying? Like, he has truly made money off of being a persona. You know what I'm saying? That's what it was. Talent, I don't think he ever had it. And he was able to get those acting jobs and stuff like that because he had the name behind him and people would support him because he had a name. This man has been able to survive off of this industry by simply using other people's talents. If that ain't pimping, I don't know what is. If that ain't pimping, I don't know what is. If that ain't a PIMP, I don't know what is. You feel me? So, it's interesting. It's interesting. But again, I think a lot of people don't care how Diddy has gotten where he's gotten and who he has hurt in the process, because if they got the opportunity, they would do the same thing and say, oh, well, I got mine, get yours. You got a lot of people. There's a lot of narcissists out there. It's just that some haven't had the opportunity to allegedly sell their souls to get to a Diddy status. Diddy cares about no one, not even his kids, for real. Look how he used them to gain sympathy during the trial. Well, but look at not even that. Remember, CA, remember how he was already on a plane going somewhere while his kids was being handcuffed in LA. Remember that? Remember that, CA? When his kids was handcuffed, Diddy was nowhere to be found. Diddy was on a chartered private plane somewhere, either in Miami or somewhere else, while his kids was getting handcuffed. Hey, Debbie Bunch, make sure you guys hit the like button. Yeah, I know you're saying you're sick of about hearing about them, but I gotta talk about the most updated stuff that's going on. Do you think Stefan Diggs were at Diddy? Not Stefan Diggs. I've been hearing a little bit about Stefan Diggs. I don't know. How old is Stefan Diggs? Is he even old enough to have attend Diddy parties? Oh, yes, you a Libra too. Yes, 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 yes. Happy birthday to you, CA. Thank you so much. So yeah, so Diddy only cares about Diddy. And I don't think that's gonna change. So, but again, we will have to see how the media is going to treat him. If the media keeps dogging him, even while he's in and when he gets out, then I would say the powers that be are done with Diddy. They're tired of getting him out. They can no longer use him, so they're done with them. So, but with that being said, you guys, I've talked for over an hour. I didn't realize I was talking this long, but of course, when I'm engaging with y'all on the live, it can definitely run over. But let's continue the conversation. Let me know what you guys think about this, because yeah. And if you guys want me to continue to have updates on it, now I am not the one to talk about this on a week-to-week basis. I honestly, if it wasn't for this big update, I wouldn't be talking about Diddy anyways. As y'all know, I'm at a point where all of these people have had all of these allegations about them. Everybody can't be lying. So I've kind of been done with a lot of folks. The Diddys, the Tyler Perrys. I'm over it. I'm over it. Like, I want good people to prevail at this point. God-fearing people, true God-fearing people. Because just because people know the Bible don't mean that they're God-fearing. The devil also knows the Bible. Because remember, he was an angel. He know the Bible better than we do. So yeah, knowing the Bible and being able to say scripture, you ain't gonna convince me. It's about your fruit and what you do on a daily basis. And as far as I see it, the fruit that the Diddys and people like him have their fruit is rotten. Their fruit is rotten. So on that note, you guys, I appreciate you guys so much for listening. Let's continue the conversation. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you on my next video.